Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota here in the US, and I am going to bring you a live paper crafting class today. Thank you all for coming. I see names that are scrolling through with comments already. It's so fun, and I love how you chat between yourselves. Guessing what I was going to wear. We're doing a purple project today with a little bit of blue and green in there, and this is the closest I could get. I have kind of an 80s attire on. My jean jacket, this beautiful scarf I got from a friend named Susan Campfield. Thank you, Susan. And it has just a touch of purple and green and a little bit of blue in it. So I'm trying to coordinate today. Last week I messed up, didn't I? Anyways, we are going to do a fun class today. This is based on a project that I saw from my team member, Elizabeth Hebert. She was our showcase stamper in January. And if you visit my blog, you may have seen her projects. You can go back and if you look in the categories and just organize it by showcase stampers, you can scroll back and see some of the wonderful things that she did. Anyways, we got lots of comments from her projects on the blog. Oh, please share directions. Please, give us details on how she did this or this. So I thought I would bring to you a version of one of her projects today. This is also the day that my All-Star tutorial group goes live with our blog hop, our monthly blog hop. So the project that I'm going to feature is encompassing the Hydrangea Hill suite of products, because that's what our tutorials are based on this month, in the month of March. So you're going to see even more ideas when this video goes live when it goes live. It's going live right now. When it gets posted into my blog, and my blog post goes live at 3 p.m. Central Time. So that's about 4 hours from now. And when you go and visit, the link is in the description of the video. When you go there and visit, you'll be able to see even more projects with the Hydrangea Hill suite. There's going to be several others in our group that are also in a blog hop with me today. So can't wait to show you that inspiration. What do I want to tell you? Trisha, do we have Trisha with us today? I think so. She usually checks in and says hello to everybody. I don't see her name yet, but hopefully she'll be here. If you notice her name has a little wrench symbol next to it, it's because she is my moderator. She is the one who will answer questions for you, guide you to where you need to get your ideas or answers from or whatever. So she is my helper. I love her. So say hello, Trisha, if you're with us. Hopefully she is. I don't think I screwed up. There's a day in March where she's not coming, and I think it's next week. In fact, I'm not going to be live next week for a couple different reasons. One is because of that. So hopefully she's with us. I don't see her name. Oh, there she is. Yay! Okay. Phew. I thought we did something technically wrong again. Anyways, all right, so this project is a set of 6 cards with a holder. So we have lots of measurements to share today. You don't have to memorize them. The instructions will be, of course, in this video, and then the measurements are going to be on a little PDF that you can print off when you go to my blog post at 3 p.m. And again, there's my blog, stampyourartout.com. So you can get the PDF, a printable PDF there of the measurements and the supplies. But you can also take a screenshot when I share those with you. So I will go to that in just a second. But if you are commenting while we are live, you get entered into the prize drawing. And we do a couple prizes at the end of our live video to 2 lucky commenters. So you'll want to make sure that you're at least saying hello. And then after the live is done, so if you're watching this afterwards, you can still comment and within a week's time get in on the second drawing, which is done for a 3rd person. So make sure that you're saying hello, telling us where you're from, all that stuff. Okay, I am going to switch my computer over here so that we can share some comments from last week. Let me pull those up here. There we go. Okay, oh, and I have to make my head a little bit smaller. Didn't adjust that yet. There. All right, so these are comments that rolled in from last week. Lots of people saying hello. I love it. One person mentioned that she was so impressed with herself because she made it 2 weeks in a row. That's always great. I love hearing where you're from and what the weather's like. Some of you are like from across the world, Australia and New Zealand hellos. That was awesome to see. Because I think your hours are so different that you might be asleep while I'm live, but thank you for joining. John Smith mentioned, thanks for the reminder to give the thumbs up. So I'm just going to say that right now. I copied that one so that I could remind you guys. If you like this video or you're enjoying it, please give me the thumbs up. And then what else did I want to point out? Enabler. Yes, Elizabeth, I'm so sorry. I do love what I show. So maybe that is why you're wanting to buy some of the stuff. I don't know. It's just too much fun. Paper crafting is so much fun. And some of you said that you were going to try it right away. Margaret asked a question about if the Velcro goes a certain way. So we did a project last week about a kite fold card. And I put the soft part of the Velcro dot on the main part of the card where the greeting would be, and then the scratchier part on the top that you lift up. So there really is no right or wrong way. Just to answer that question, a lot of people were answering that question for her. But I prefer to have the soft Velcro portion, the place where you'll see or feel the most, if that makes sense. And then a lot of you had mentioned putting clouds behind the kite. I did not want to complicate the project any more than I did, but I love that idea. I've seen some cards that were shared with me afterwards, versions of the kite card using embossing folders with clouds in them. Some of you even sponged clouds in the background, so that was fun. And oh, the glue dots. So Wanda asked about glue dots. Sometimes they just don't stick for her, and I just want to mention that any adhesive that you're touching in your hands can sometimes get the oils from your hands. I have dry hands all the time. So I don't have bad luck with getting my glue dots to stick. But if I've just lotioned them or I've just worked with a product or something and I've got some oils on my fingers, that can sometimes remove the stickiness on a glue dot. So using a take your pick tool or a piercer tool or something like that to help transfer your glue dots might help. All right, so now we are going to go back to my table. I'm just going to adjust some things on my computer screen. I am going to show you the beautiful, hang on, I'm here. Okay, I'm going to show you the beautiful products in the Hydrangea Hill Suite. So these are the papers. They come in 12 by 12. I do not have full sheets of everything. In fact, my friend Nancy Forsberg and my husband who went to go pick it up saved me today because I actually ran out of this sheet, which is the one that I use a lot on this project. So at the last minute, Tim went over to Nancy's house and picked it up. So these are normally 12 by 12 sheets. Thank you to both of you. I felt the love. And then this is the flip side of those papers. Beautiful purples, and then of course some blues and greens in there and a little bit of pink. The colors are listed right here. I'll just kind of move in so you can read them really quick. So those are the colors. I'm going to grab the other parts and pieces to this suite that I'm going to use, and I'll show you where they're at in the catalog. So that was kind of far away, wasn't it? That was mean of me. Read it. Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Cocoa Rose, Seaside Spray, and the white, which is now called Basic White. Then we have this stuff. This is called Mercury Acetate, and it's a specialty kind of window sheet that's got some printing on it. You can see through it. You can see my hand behind there. You get in the pack 2 sheets Rococo Rose, foil-ish color, metallic color, and one has a real dense, tinier dot pattern, and then this one is a little bit wider. Same thing with the, and I think they call this one Highland Heather. I'm not going to know that for sure until I look at the catalog, but Highland Heather, same thing. And you get 12 by 12 sheets of each, so you can see the different patterns there. One thing that you'll want to know on these pieces is that there is a protective layer that keeps them from getting scratched. And if you just take your fingernail up in the corner and just kind of rub it downwards, you can peel away that plastic that protects it. So, and it's not necessary. I've put together projects with it, you know, without peeling that off, and it still works, but over time it could peel off. So you'll want to remove that. And then you can see that there's like a silver side on the other side too. So you really have 3 colors in that pack. Let me pull in the catalog so you can see. This is from our January through June mini catalog. And you can see the beautiful samples on page 18, and then on page 19 you can see all the products that are in that suite. The wonderful thing about a suite is that you can order everything at once, but right now I believe these two items are not orderable, so then the whole suite becomes not orderable. But you can get individual pieces, and then these, I think mid-March is what I'm hearing. This is the sheer gorgeous grape ribbon that I'm going to be using. And then here is the stamp set. Not using the dies today, not using the pastel pearls. This is the stamp set. Got some sentiments in there. We have some, of course, some floral images. And so, and it's a two-step stamp set. That means that you put two images or more together and you get a complete image. So I will actually demonstrate that today. Okay, let's move back over to the computer so you can take a screenshot if you'd like to. These are the supplies listed over here, and then these are the measurements that you'll need. I do not have this in centimeters. There were so many measurements. That would have taken me like a whole couple more hours to do, so I'm sorry for those of you who use metric. I did this only in inches today. There's the holder that holds the cards, and then there's the card measurements. We're going to be whipping together the cards first. So those of you that are new to stamping and you've never done this before, you can see how easy and quick it is to make very pretty cards. So I'll be doing those first, and then we'll work on the holder. You're going to love this. It's going to be so fun. Okay, so let me pull in the supplies that we will need for the cards. Again, doing the cards first. So we're going to make some card bases with our basic white cardstock, and this is basic white. It's the thick one, so it's stiffer. It's great for card bases. There's two different kinds. There's one that's more like for a layer, and then there's this one. So to cut your card base, you can see that two of these together equal one full sheet of 8.5 by 11. And they're scored down the middle. So we're going to do the scoring at one time and the cutting at one time. So half of 8.5 is 4¼ inches. So we're going to move the paper edge right to the 4¼ inch mark right there. Then we're going to take the light blade on our trimmer and we're going to score. We're going to put pressure in there, and that breaks the fibers of the cardstock so that it's easier to fold in half. You can see the score line in there now. And now we're going to turn this way, and half of 11 inches is 5.5. And we'll do a cut with our darker blade. And now we have two card bases. We're going to grab our bone folder tool, and we're going to make sure that they're lined up and do a nice little crisp crease on all of these. So you can cut your cardstock in the opposite direction too if you want to. You can have more of a vertical kind of fold. But I just decided to keep these all the same. These will be vertically or portrait position cards though. And then I have some card layers, and those are done easily with the designer paper. So what I've got for you here are all of these pieces. They're already cut to 4 by 5¼ inches. And 4 by 5¼ is 1/4 of an inch smaller in each direction. So you can see here, 1/4 of an inch in each direction. And it layers on very nicely with 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. So we're going to do that. We're going to take and add these to the front of our card. When you're using a tape runner type of adhesive like this, you just need a little bit in each corner. This is our seal adhesive. It's different than our snail. It's new this year. One thing with the seal is that there's like a learning curve if you've been so used to snail adhesive. I'm getting better at it, but every once in a while it does catch up in there and I have to get it started again. A light touch is all you need. If you put pressure on it, oh, do you see this? See that seam right there? I don't know if you can see that, but there's like, you can see the back side. So I'm going to flip it over. I like not seeing that little edge there. Okay, but what was I saying? I was talking about the seal, I think. yeah, a light touch. And also when you're stopping it, you lift up. You just lift up. And I do still kind of give it a kickback, but I kick it back kind of quicker. I don't kick it off to the side because that can make it kind of go off track. You can even do, is this the side we wanted? Yeah. You can even do this where you pull it and then you bring your wrist forward, and it helps to kind of break it off that way too. But you just have to keep pushing it, and you'll eventually be a pro at seal adhesive, I promise you. Okay, here's our different bases. We're going to do these two last, these two second, and these two first. So for our decorations on the front of these two cards, which you can see are almost similar. They have a similar pattern, although these are slightly bigger hydrangeas, and these are smaller and they're more dense, so you don't see the stems in them as much. So for these, we're going to punch out a couple 2-inch circles from a scrap of basic white. Now normally I'd say stamp first and then punch, especially if you're using our cling mount stamps, the red rubber stamps, but you don't have to worry about that when you're using these clear mount stamps. So, or not clear mount, sorry, photopolymer stamps. Photopolymer stamps are clear all the way through, so we'll be able to see our image all the way through. These are our stamp pads. When you open them up, they open like a compact. You just flip them and then you can put them into the base like that. These are ink pads that need just a little bit of opening and shutting and opening and shutting and opening and shutting. When you first get them, they're kind of stiff. So any of you who have trouble opening them, a little tip would be to put a little chapstick along the little area here. Actually, put it right on here. That's where you put it. Just a little chapstick there. It helps to kind of lubricate it. And then it will open and shut very easily. So there's the "You Make Me Smile" sentiment, and this one is the one that says, "I appreciate all the little things you do." And I put that one down a little bit lower. This one I had to kind of center, but this one is a little lower because we're going to put an embellishment there. So let's take and put a little adhesive on the back side of each of these. These are going to go on the front and towards the top of these pieces here. When I lay them down, I am looking at the line of words and making sure that this runs parallel to the edge, the top edge of my cardstock. So I'm looking at the words only. Then we'll grab our Take Your Pick tool, and we're going to use our blue adhesive back gems, and you could really pick either one. So these blue adhesive back gems come in 2 different colors, 2 different sizes, as you can see. Here, I'm going to put them onto white so you can see them better. And they've got kind of a, they almost look like, I don't know, like an oil slick. You know, when you're looking on some road or whatever, they're multicolored. They have these beautiful multicolor look to them. This is kind of greenish, pinkish, bluish. There's purple in there, and then these are more blue, purple, you know. So I'm going to use the greener one, believe it or not. I know some of you are like, oh, use the blue or purple one, but I'm going to just stick with what I did on the other one, but you could use either one with these papers. So it's kind of like it's a brad or some kind of attachment up there on the top. We'll do the same thing. There it is for this card. And that's going to go right up there. I'm just using the gummy end of this to help pick it up and move it. Okay, the next couple cards, super easy. That's using this beautiful acetate. So we're going to do that trick where you take your fingernail and kind of pull it down. Glue dots work too. If you stick a glue dot up there and then you pull with the glue dot. Get those out of the way. They're stuck on my hands. Okay, now these are going to go right, they're going to get, this is going to go on top of it like that. So we can run our adhesive right through the middle. We have a pink one and we have a purple one. So I'm going to put the pink on this one here. And I'm kind of positioning about 1.25 inches down. If you want to, you can use your grid paper. So there's our grid paper, and you can kind of measure to see how far you're, yep, it's about 1.25 inches down. Same thing with this one. Oh, and make sure that your card is opening in the correct direction, because you don't want to put it on upside down, right? So we'll set that one right here. And you can adjust these too. If you don't want to cover up a certain, you know, bouquet pattern that's on here, you can adjust so that this is further up or down. Let's grab our other sentiment. And how many of you were yelling at me? Use your Stamp and Pierce mat. There it is. I forgot. So we're going to ink up our stamp. The Stamp and Pierce mat is not like, it's not super important that you use it, but it does make up for the fact that photopolymer stamps do not have that cushion between the rubber and the block. Gives it that little bit of softness that it needs to make a nice even image. More important when you're using like a solid image. So when we're going to stamp this piece here, this is going to be more important then. We'll flip these over, put adhesive along the back side. Look at this. We're whipping together 6 cards in no time. So beginning stampers, people have never created or crafted before, it is doable to make some really pretty cards really quickly. So there's those. Then we're going to work on, pull this back in here. We're actually going to put our grid paper on top of our Stamp and Pierce mat. We're going to pull in this one. This one seems a little plain. You're probably wondering, why didn't you use the other side? The other side, very pretty, pink little petals. I don't know, I kind of wanted less pink on this. I wanted to focus on the purple. So we're going to ink up this stamp. This is our outline Hydrangea stamp, and we're going to ink that up in full color. And when I say full color, that means I'm not removing any of the ink. And that's going to get stamped right about here. So it's in the middle of our card, kind of tilting to the right. And then we're going to use our solid images. In fact, I think I want to do the leaves first, just cause. So the leaves and the flower little, this thing here, the blossom part, they do not line up exactly, and it's on purpose. The reason why is because Stampin' Up! Wanted to have more of a artsy, fartsy little look to it. We're going to stamp off some color, so we're removing some of the purple. By the way, you can already see that that ink has kind of a multi-purple color look to it anyways because of the stamp. The stamp is one of those that has a lot of detail to it. It's called a, let's see if I remember it, distinctive. Where's, oh yeah, distinctive. Does it say it on here? Distinctive just means that it shows more, more detail, more like a photograph or whatever, more dark and light. So you can see as I'm trying to line this up, I'm just working with the stem. I'm just looking at the stem of that so that that's lined up. And the leaves, it's okay if they go outside the line. And now you can see I've got a lighter purple because I removed some ink. I made it a lighter purple. So that's how you can get more than one ink color from one ink pad. So again, beginning stampers, that's a great little tip for you. We're going to stamp off, and then we're going to hover and stamp again. And now we have a lighter purple. And the more you stamp like this, the lighter it'll get. So you can see, you can even get more than 2 colors. You know, that's multiple purples right there, right? Oh yeah, keep this open because we have another card. So let's keep that right here, and let's do this one. Where did my stamp? There it is. Okay, so we're gonna do this one now, and this one, this paper is really cool because it's set up to make 6 cards. 4 inches times 3 is 12 inches. And then if you look at the flip side of the paper, which is the top, I have to show it to you again. This is so cool. So this paper can give you 6 card layers. It's pretty stuff. Okay, that's going to get stamped right here in the middle, in the sky. And then, now we're going to close this up. for now. Get it out of there. Okay, and then we're going to put on our little embellishments. So we'll bring these back in, and we're going to add, now I'll zoom back in again. There we go. We're going to add a large and a small right here. And then we're going to add all 3 sizes I think I have. I'm peeking on my, oh, nope, we don't have 3 sizes. Some of our embellishments we have 3 sizes. This one we do not. So I have a large and a small, and then I put another large up here. And I'm looking at my sample ones that I have off to the side because those are the ones I photographed for my blog, and I want to make sure I do pretty much the same thing. Okay, now, we are ready. We've even got envelopes for them, and I forgot to list these. Sorry, I forgot to list these in the supplies. But you're gonna wanna have the medium size envelopes. I've also got some stamps that look pretty close to the same colors, so those are gonna be ready for our box. Now let's make our box. Yay. All right, I'm gonna switch that over here. Okay, the box. So much fun. Okay, I've got lots of pieces here, and I added the measurements on top of the pieces, so that should help. These are all our pieces that we need for the box, so I'll go through them really quickly. Let's start with the card base. The card base we're actually going to cut, but it's going to get cut to 6 1/8 inch by 11 and scored. And then we're going to need 2 pieces. These are already cut and ready. 2 pieces of gorgeous grape that are 4 3/4 by 5 7/8. We're going to need a strip that is also 5 7/8 inches high, but it's just 3/4 of an inch wide. That's for the inside. And then layers for those pieces. I'm using this beautiful paper that we didn't put on the cards that you certainly could do on your card fronts, but I didn't. So this widest one, and all of these, by the way, are 5 3/4 inches tall. The widest one is 4 5/8. This one is 3 1/8, and this one is 5/8. Okay, and the measurements again, they're in that little PDF thing. Then I'm needing to cut this also, and we're going to cut a piece that is 1 7/16. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do that. And then by 5 3/4 inches tall. So let's go ahead and get these pieces ready. 6 1/8. So if we're doing 6 1/8 by 11, we need to extend the arm on our trimmer just a bit here. We need to extend the arm on our trimmer because when our trimmer is closed, our paper only goes to the 6 inch mark because there's this little ridge here. So it stops right at 6 inches, which is great for people who want to use that 6 inch mark, right? But we're going to open it up. We're going to move that out of the way, and we're going to go to the last little mark that is on the white portion of the trimmer. And that is right here, 6 1/8. And I'm cutting all the way through because our cardstock already is 11 inches in this direction. So we're going to slice that off, and now we have this piece. Wow, it takes up the whole camera. We have that piece ready. We're going to score it, and we're going to score it at 5 inches. So get that cutting blade out of the way, and 6 inches. By the way, Elizabeth Hebert, the one who did this project for Showcase Stamper, she did it with the snail mail products. So cute. So you'll want to for sure check out the link that's in the description of the video so you can see her goodies. So here we have that. And thank you, Elizabeth. Also, I have to give you a shout out because she worked with me one-on-one and shared her measurements. These measurements aren't exactly the same, but the majority, like the base measurements, are the same. I just had different layers and stuff. There's our cover. This piece we need to cut to, let's start with the 5 3/4 inch mark. Oops, get in view here. 5 3/4 is right here. It's the third of the longest pieces there. There's that. And then we also need to cut 1 7/16. So if you're thinking about 16ths, and 16ths are the tiniest little marks on here. 8/16 is the same as saying 1/2 because 8 is half of 16. So if we start at the 1.5 or 1 8/16 mark, you're going to count these little ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we go back to the tiny little mark right before it, then you're right on. There's the piece we need. Okay, my catch-all table. Throwing things back here now. And I think I left all these little Post-it notes on here. We're going to start putting this stuff together. Let's do it. Let's do some adhering. Okay. All right. So these two are going to go on the front and back. So we're just going to put some adhesive on each corner. If you're somebody that worries about the adhesive, you can certainly add more than what I'm adding. Oops, there we go. You can certainly add more than what I'm adding. But this seal adhesive is a stronger adhesive. You can also burnish. That adds a little bit of pressure and warmth when you're adhering. This would make a great Mother's Day gift, Easter gift. Okay, and then this will layer onto here. I'm just going to go down the strip here. That's going to go like this with about a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. And that is going to go on the inside. So we're going to open up and put it right in here. This is where our pockets are going to go, you guys. So we want to make sure that we don't forget those. We have to hold our cards somehow, right? And then we need these for the decorative pieces. This one's going to go on the back. It's really not a difficult project. It just has a lot of measurements. Anybody can do this. You don't need the big die cut machine or anything to make some beautiful cards like this. So this one's going to go just as close. And I put this one on first because I wanted you to see how much of a border there is all the way around. You want that same amount of border when you put this layer to the left. And then this one is going to go to the right, and we should have enough left to have that same amount, same amount of border all the way around those pieces. So I'll zoom in so you can see again. So there's this like a little hint of purple in between. Okay, so there's that. Now we need to work on the pockets. So our pockets, we have these pieces. So this is the beautiful hydrangea paper. This is the flip side of it. It's kind of like a medium purple. Again, thank you, Nancy and my husband, for saving my butt. And I didn't have a full sheet. I didn't have any of this like an hour before the live went. And yes, thank you, Tim, so much for picking that up. And Nancy, thank you for having it. 2 3/4 by 4 1/2, 2 pieces of those. Then we need another designer paper, which is 1 1/2 by 2 1/4. I'm using that one right there. We're going to have a green pocket, a tiny green pocket, and that green pocket is 2 3/8 inches by 3 1/4. Sorry, yeah, 3 1/4. And then what I did is I scored. So I made a score mark a 1/2 inch in, which was right here, and I made another score mark 5/8 of an inch in. That's our old olive. I did that on 1, 2, 3 sides, so the 2 sides and the bottom. And then our larger pockets, we have 4 by 6 3/4, 2 of them, scored in at the 2 sides and the bottom at 1 inch and a 1/2 inch. Okay, so we grab our paper snips now, and we're going to cut. We're going to cut from the bottom through to this second score line. Then we're going to cut from the bottom through to that second score line. We're making like 3 little legs over there. Same thing over here. Bottom through to the second score line, and again. And then we're going to flip it to one side and trim just to the first score line. And then we're going to make like a little step and trim off that next one. So now we have like a little staircase. This tab moves in this direction though. It's going to be better for when you put your cards in and out of the box if your tab currently moves in this direction. If it moves the other way, it's going to possibly make your cards catch up on it when you're trying to put them in the pocket. So again, cut into the side, cut into the side, and now you've got your little stair. Do the same thing here. Now this is where I'm, you know, when I do pre-recorded videos, I would just like shut up at this point. and I'd put it on fast forward. My kids could ask me questions, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah. So how is everybody today? Cut and cut. Okay, let's do the same thing with the green. So you have two score lines here, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut up to the second score line, up to the second score line. We're coming up from the bottom. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. Cut and cut. And then we're going to come in this way. Now, I'm going to show you the little staircase that you can make, but I'm also going to tell you that you might as well just cut that little piece out. Because it's annoying and it's unnecessary. So we're just going to go all the way through. We're not going to worry about that. But we do need the two score lines the other direction. So let's just cut all the way through. It's so annoying. You don't need it. Now we have to score on both, or we have to fold on both of those score lines. So we're going to fold and we're going to fold. Just use your bone folder to help give it a crease. Like that. It's a box for cards, yes. I just peeked over at the comments. This one's kind of harder to do, by the way, because the score lines are so close to each other. So be really patient when you are using the bone folder there. Score and score. We're going to set this up with our tear and tape adhesive. Tear and tape adhesive is awesome for 3D projects. So we're going to pull off, and you can tear it, but I'm going to cut, and I'm going to put the tape really close to that inner score line. So there's two score lines. We want it close to the inner one so that it's going to catch on the inside of our container. There's the adhesive. And the closer the score line, the better, because it will help hold it stronger. It won't pull away. Yes, in fact, here, I'm going to demonstrate. You can tear it, watch. So you can put it down like this, and then you can tear it off. That's why it's called tear and tape adhesive. It's awesome. My phone has stopped. Oh, that was weird. Did you guys see that? Oh no. What's happening? Hang on. Technical difficulties. No, it's working. That's so weird, you guys. Did you see that? I froze. Warning. Oh, we're having some kind of internet issue over here. Please, oh please, no. I wonder if I have too many people in the house on internet. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to keep on going here, you guys, okay? Great. Great, great, great. So, tape, tear and tape. That's okay, because this is the part where I would have like gone super fast anyways. Are you guys seeing that? I'm seeing it. Too many devices on in the house, possibly. I'm going to keep going, though. Yes, froze. No freeze here, though, huh, Belinda? Okay. All right. Okay, well, I'm just going to keep going. I have this little warning on here. Maybe if I click away from it, it will go away. Okay, so it's saying good connection now. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so that one's done the same way, where you're going to fold and fold, use the bone folder, give them good creases. And then we're going to add that tear and tape. Craziness. There's got to be something that goes wrong in every live. In fact, if those of you that are demonstrators that are apprehensive about doing lives, it happens to everybody. Just do them. They're fun. Okay, again, it's fun to go through this, right? All of this stress. I'm sweating. I'm sweating. So here I have the tear and tape on the outer flap really close to the score line. So at this point we can put these layers on here because we're going to put them into our little booklet. And a lot of you are saying, oh, use this side instead. I know, I can hear you. You're saying use this side because it's really pretty. But I think it's more distracting for the cards. So, sorry. We're going to keep it less distracting. There we go. So there's our light purple. Can you see that? No, I'm out of view. Zoom out. You can see my original tabletop there too. Ha! Ha ha ha. I put one of my fake tabletops on top here. It's like this board that my dad gave me. He made them for me. I have directions on how he made them too in my blog if you're curious. Okay, so there's that. All those little pieces are now covered. We're going to add those to the inside. And then the last thing that we'll have to do is add our belly band. So when we're adding these to the inside, we're actually going to put this tab, let's connect these tabs together like that. It's going to help when we put our pocket in. So we're connecting them. And I'll do that one more time here. On the green one, we already cut that tab off, so you don't need it. Adhesive, adhesive. Okay, so you're going to pull that tab in, and then you're just going to have this one go right over the top like that. Pull that tab in. You're making kind of a half box, and like that. And that way, when we put the pockets in, they're going to be easier to form. Okay, we're going to peel off this tape on the bottom flap first, not the tape, sorry, the backing, and we're going to connect it there and there. Okay, pockets coming together. Do the same thing here. Oh, they're coming apart. Quick, tear and tape. Okay, so we're peeling off the backing on the bottom strip, and then we're connecting, and we're connecting. So we're going to flip this over. This is the front, this is the back. When we flip it over, here's the bottom. We're going to line up this pocket with the bottom edge. And we're going to try to center it. Peel off your tear and tape adhesive on the sides. If you by chance happen to get a little extra tear and tape over the edges, you can just fold it back up onto itself and it'll stay where it needs to stay. So we're going to center between this score line and this edge, and we're going to make it flush with the bottom of our box. So I'm just peeking on both sides as I lay it down. I'm angling it up a bit. And the reason why I want it flush with the bottom is because when I have this done, I want to be able to have it stand up on its own. And if this is further up, if there's like a little bit of edge of the seafoam color or seaside spray color, then it will tip. Okay, so there's that. Same thing with this side. I hope that my camera is working great now. It looks like it is. That was so weird, you guys. I don't know what happened. It just said internet connection was bad. Okay, so same thing here. You're going to have about 1/8 of an inch on the two sides here. You know, 1/8 of an inch on this edge before it gets to the score line, and 1/8 of an inch showing over here. I'm just using my bone folder to go inside, and I'm pressing those flaps down in there like that. We'll do this one next. So with this one, we're going to have the bottom flap in again. We're going to connect the two sides. And we're not going to worry so much about the little tiny tabs that we cut off because they're not going to be shown. This is just wide enough to allow us to put some postage stamps in a pocket. and that's going to go here on the front. We can just kind of squish it down. You can use your bone folder, your hand on the inside, press it. Okay, so that's going to hold our postage stamps. Now it does rise up, like I said, 1/8 of an inch. This is a 1/2 inch, this is a 1/2 inch, this is a 1/2 inch. But when we close this, it's going to kind of encompass it. The cards are not so thick that it's going to make it difficult to close. It's going to work. I promise. You know what I forgot to do was give these little creases. I'll just go the other way. That'll help. Okay, so that's almost done. It's almost done, you guys. Okay, so look at this. This is where our little stamps go. This is where our envelopes go. 3 on each side. Let's kind of split these up here. Put this one here, this one here. And now we just need something to hold it shut. Now you could just wrap ribbon around it if you want to, but we're going to make a slightly fancier little belly band. And to make that belly band, we have to have cardstock that is actually longer than 12 inches. So we're going to put together 2 pieces. One of them is 8 1/4 inches long, and the other one is 5 inches long. So altogether, 13 1/4 inches long. There is some overlap, so it makes it actually 12 1/4 inches long. But it's necessary. So we're going to score first, and then we're going to punch. We're going to bring in the delightful tag topper punch. Tag topper, or there's different kinds of tag topper punches that we've had or that we have that you could choose from. But I do have the measurements for these 2 pieces based on this punch because of how far it punches in. So we're going to score our long one at 4 1/4 and just over. That's what the greater than sign means. Just over 5 1/4. So 4 1/4 and 5 1/4. So there's our 4 1/4 inch mark right there. Just using your score. 4 1/4 and 5 1/4. And then we'll need this piece. Oh, and I was going to do it just over. Silly, Rachel. We're just going to have to do it. Okay, so just over is between that mark and the next one. We'll see if this works. It's just supposed to allow for it to be easier wrapped around the front of the box. Okay, so there's that, and yeah, that should work. So this is going to be the front side of it. We're going to punch here. For this piece, we're going to score at 2 inches. This is our 2 by 5 piece. We're going to score at 2 and just under 1. So when you're looking here, it's the 1 inch mark. It's the 1 inch mark and just right before it. So right there. And it's actually easier to see on the other side of our trimmer, so we're going to go over here instead. There's the 1 inch mark. We're going to go just before it, just less than. There's 1. There it is. Oops, it moved on me. Okay, so there's our 2 marks. And this is the end that we punch. Our tag topper punch, just unlock it on the bottom. You're going to insert your cardstock. It takes 2 inch wide cardstock, and you can even go different widths. So we're going to push that all the way in. You can see it's all lined up in there, and we're going to punch. Do the same thing with this one. Don't worry about the scores. Just push it all the way in and punch. There's that. We're going to add a little layer here, but I think we're going to do that after we've applied it to our box. We're going to bring in our box. We're going to wrap this way. We're going to wrap this way. You can see how they pretty much exactly meet up. And I'm wrapping it around the bottom where our pockets are, because that's going to be the most stable when we put adhesive on the back. So we'll lift this up. We'll add tear and tape to the outer edge of this piece and tear and tape to the outer edge, but this side of this piece. Why? Because that way we have 2 layers of tear and tape, And they're not right next to each other, but they're the furthest out we can get them on each side. So we'll line it all up here. So you can see now, I've got my tear and tape here, and when they cross over, they're reaching beyond each other. Okay, almost there. Almost there. Let's do a little tying of our ribbon. This is so pretty, you guys. I just can't stand it. I love it. What a nice gift set to give to somebody. Okay, we're just going to put our ribbon. This is 12 inches of our sheer Gorgeous Grape ribbon. And we're going to keep it tied. You can even tie it in a knot because it's a belly band, so it can just be slid off and on. Tie our bow. Trim our ends if we want to. I love the sheer because you can actually manipulate it a little bit more. It's really easy to work with ribbon. Okay, then we just need a little piece here. So we're going to bring in these two pieces. We have a 1 3/4 inch piece by 3 1/4 and 1 5/8 by 3 1/8. We're going to stamp on this one with our Gorgeous Grape ink and that long sentiment. And I think we're going to stamp it, hang on for a minute. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Yeah, we're going to stamp it just slightly higher than lower. It looks kind of centered, but you'll see what I mean. Because now we're going to add some flower images. We're going to add this one up here, and then we're going to add 2 down here. So that's the reason why I wanted to have a little bit more space on the bottom. Then we'll use, who's calling out? Get the pierce mat, there we go. Then we'll use the solid image, we'll stamp off, and then we'll go over the top. And again, it's not lined up perfectly. So that's actually a good thing. Then you don't have to stress about your projects as much if they're not lined up perfectly, right? This piece will go on top of our Gorgeous Grape layer. So pretty, so pretty. You guys are gonna love this. Okay, and then this goes on the top of our belly band so that it lines up. Oh, I'm out of screen again. So that it lines up with this purple edge and this purple edge coming through. Nice, right? And then we just need some embellishments on there, and I think we've done it. I think we've done it, you guys. So we're gonna add a medium, I'm sorry, a small and a small and a small. And I don't want you to put any on the, oops, there we go. Don't put any, there, it moved on me. Don't put it on here because when you're sliding off and on the belly band, it will catch on any embellishments that are on here. So just keep this area smooth. So you can slide off this way or the other way. When you slide off, you open it up. You've got these gorgeous cards in there. I mean, how pretty is that? There's the, here, we'll zoom out even more, Rachel, so they can see your fake desk. There we go. So there's the finished project. Awesome, right? This is so fun. I'm going to move to my computer screen here. Let me pull it up. I want to make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay. There we go. So I have even featured this. Did you see that? I even featured it as one of my scrolling images on my blog. If you are not familiar again and you want to visit my website, it's at stampyourartout.com. If you do not have a demonstrator or you're not a demonstrator yourself, you can certainly shop for products and see lots of ideas at my website. Now I'm going to scroll because I want you to see at the bottom here, this is how you can access information for our tutorials. So on March 1st and the 1st of every month is when we release our tutorials. I'm going to click here for a minute and you can see that these are peeks of all the exclusive projects that you can get in our tutorial bundle. In the US, this bundle is $15, and then you can find areas where you can click and grab those images. These are all the people that I design with, such talented people. When you scroll down underneath any post, I just want to also share with you that you can find promotional things going on, like the Hey Chick stuff, the Crazy for Butterflies or Butterfly Bouquet, Butterfly Brilliance products that are just released yesterday, Paper Pumpkin information, and then there's my tutorial stuff and how to get them. I'm going to go back one more time, and I'm going to show you quickly these cards. So I'm going to go back to my desktop, and we'll move these out of the way. These are the ones that I shared on my blog yesterday, and it was for another blog hop. It was really fun, but look at 6 cards. 6 cards. They're more detailed than the cards that I just shared how to make, but wouldn't these make a great little card set to make a box around too? I love them. Very fun. They're beautiful. You need dies with this, but look at the detail. There's like 3 layers on all of these cards. There's the stamped layer, there's the paper layer, and then there's the vellum layer on top. They were so fun to make. Prizes! Prizes, prizes. We had a prize winner that was drawn from our last week's video on the kite card. That person, whose name I'm going to show in just a second, is going to get a roll of twine and a little package of self-adhesive sequins. Both of these are retired products, but they just match so well. They coordinate so well with the project that I made last week. So I'm going to grab that name announcement here, pull it up, and you can see who that winner is. Ta-da! Yay, Kathleen! Thank you. You were one of our After Live commenters, one of 183 After Live commenters. So that was your chances. That's pretty good. That's pretty good odds. 1 out of 183 people. Thank you for your comment too. And then we'll go back to the desk because we have some other prizes that we're giving away today. And those people are going to get some retired products as well. I've collected a bunch of stuff that it's high quality stuff, but we don't sell it anymore. These are our, what were they called? Peaceful Poppies Elements. Really fun little embellishment pieces, easy to make cards with. You just punch them out and stick them on the front of a card. There's no sentiments in here, but there's lots of little layers and pieces and things that just make card making a little bit easier. And then we have this beautiful black satin ribbon that is the basic black satin ribbon. So our 2 winners that Trisha draws today are going to receive those prizes. You'll just want to make sure that you reach out to me at that email address. So on that note, let me go to my computer and peek. I want to see who she picked. Got to move this out of the way. She probably already drew the name and I missed it. I'm going to scroll through here. Not yet, looks like. Okay, she's working on it. So Trisha's going to announce our 2 winners. And while she is doing that, did I mention everything? I did, yes. New catalog. New catalog is coming out pretty soon. And that will be, oops, sorry, trying to get rid of those things. The new catalog will be available, I think it's May 4th. May 4th. So that means that the retiring list is going to get posted before that. You will see the retiring list of products coming out on the 24th of March. So just a little over a month from when the products will all retire. So you'll get over a month to nab up things that you want. And she did announce the winners. Kathy Vaverka and Sandy Palmer, you are the winners for today's products. So make sure that you reach out to me. I'm going to move to the desk then one more time because I do want to share retiring colors. Retiring colors, these colors, Seaside Spray, Purple Posy, Terracotta Tile, Pretty Peacock, and Rococo Rose. These 2, by the way, actually these 3, I think this one was even in there too. These colors were just featured in the Hydrangea Hill paper. So you'll want to make sure that you get your re-inkers if you have the ink pads already. You want to make sure that you get enough cardstock stacked up. Because once a retired color is gone, it's pretty much gone. There's no guarantee that you'll find replacement product for it elsewhere. So nab those up before the retiring list posts because otherwise you're going to have to try to beat the rush. So there. Facebook group. I have a Facebook group. Let's see if I can find there. I have a Facebook group and I am planning to go live at 1 o'clock today, so that's in about an hour. I'm going to go live in that group, and I'm going to share some cards that I have been receiving from people. So if you are on Facebook and you want to join us, make sure that you're a part of that group. That's at 1 p.m. That's it. I'm going to let you guys all go. The next time I go live, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, is going to be 2 weeks from now. I am going away next week for Wednesday through Sunday, and then Trisha wasn't going to be available anyways. So it was just a bad week for both of us. I'll see you back again here on March 17th for another project. I've got a fun interactive card that I'm going to share then. So you'll want to come back and visit. March 17th, 11 a.m. Central Time. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone.